Welcome back to Soweto Today. Thank you for choosing to stay with us. We're getting closer to the end of the show and have been in conversation on all things tax as we recognize tax season in South Africa. We wrap up the conversation with Kabelo Moutloatse, Latita Africa's tax, debt and accounting senior specialist. Kabelo, much appreciated for staying on. As we wrap up the conversation, what happens if, there's two people in the business. Maybe it's a father and the son. They own a business. And then the father dies. They're both directors. SARS comes in and they say that, look, the company is owing because you did not file and all these kind of things. You're owing maybe 50,000 rands. What happens? Do you need to submit the death certificate or the debt falls into the son who's also the director there?
Okay. A company is recognized as a legal person. So in its own right, if it continues trade, then SARS would demand the debt to be settled by the company. And whoever that remains as a shareholder or the director of the company would actually need to ensure that the payment or outstanding tax liabilities are paid over to SARS. Failure that the company maybe might not be economically viable, the remaining shareholder and director will be the one who's going to be held liable by SARS.
So irrespective of if the person said the company had closed without the knowledge of the family, if I may put it that way?
Yes. If there is a SARS debt, whoever that comes across as a shareholder, even if you are involved or not involved within the business, it will still be upon your shoulders to settle whatever outstanding taxes that the company may have with SARS.
Okay, and now as we wrap up the conversation, what would be the advice that you can give for people to just get back on track? I mean, we spoke about it, that these days people know the importance of filing every season and stuff. Are there any arrangements that can be made for them also in terms of, more education maybe? In terms of, what people need to do? Because sometimes it's difficult for people to go to e-filing. You look at the issues of data and all these kind of things, and then people would say that, look, I don't want to queue for long at SARS. Then what would be the best advice?
Best advice is to look to consult a tax practitioner, one that you can verify on SARS system as a valid tax practitioner with a valid practice number issued by SARS. And also, people need not panic if they find themselves in any trouble with SARS, because there are other arrangements that SARS has put in place. Yeah. For instances where you are facing financial difficulties, one can approach SARS to request for a compromise of the debt, in which way SARS would actually give you a portion of the debt to actually as a relief for the debt that you owe, and maybe just pay off the other part of the debt. And also in situations where the entire settlement of the tax liability is not within reach, taxpayers can also negotiate for an installment agreement with SARS just to pay over the outstanding taxes over a certain period of time.
Two things as we wrap up the conversation. I mean, what are some of the ways that not being tax compliant can affect you as an individual? And also, I've seen a lot of people asking questions on social media. What does it mean when you look at your overall tax assessment and then, there is a minus? For instance, the amount says minus 1,800. Does it mean that it's the one that you're going to get? And if it doesn't say minus, are you owing SARS? How does it work actually?
Yes, with an assessment, a notice of assessment that one receives from SARS on the assessed of that specific year. If the net of the assessment has a minus, then it effectively means that SARS owes you that money. Then it would be refunded to you. But instances where SARS won't actually refund your amount, if the refund value is less than 100 rand, then SARS will just roll it over to the next year until maybe you have sufficient credits that SARS can actually refund you, which would exceed 100 rand. Yeah. And when it comes to those without a minus, then it means that you are the one that is owing SARS. And as I said, you just need to approach SARS to make the full payment. If you are unable to make the payment, get into an installment arrangement with SARS.
So you did speak about the tax practitioners and stuff. How do people, you know, make? I mean, you spoke about the practice number and
Yes.
stuff. Normally, where should people look when they're looking for those people? Online, or do people usually have you know, offices around whereby they deal with these things?
Yes, information is generally available online. Ourselves as Latita Africa as well, you could find us online. And there are ways that maybe if you find that when you're looking at the company's website, you find it to be a bit dodgy,
Yeah.
that's where you can take the extensive verification with SARS to actually verify that if the practitioners working at the certain company are actually validated with SARS and are mandated to carry out tax matters on behalf of taxpayers.
Kabelo, where can people find you as Latita?
We are available on all social networks, being LinkedIn the most, Facebook. They can also find us on latitaafrica.com.
Much appreciated. That was very insightful. I mean, I did not know about a lot of things, and I believe that the viewers also got to understand a bit more about, you know, how tax works and also what is it that they need to do. But much appreciated for coming in.
Thank you so much.
That is Kabelo Moutloatse, the tax, and accounting senior specialist with Latita Africa, who joined us this evening to talk us through about, tax-related matters as we are in the tax season, the do's and don'ts, and also what is it that you need to look for when you are filing those documents there. That's how we wrap up today's episode of Soweto Today. Remember, we love hearing from you, so please feel free to talk to us about this episode. Send us an